I got married at the age of 27 and I did not spend a fortune. I probably spent just less than 5K on the wedding, a couple grand on the rings and the honeymoon, and and just gifts and stuff like that. So I probably spent just less than 10K for the whole thing, for the whole concept of marriage. And it's been wonderful. I'm almost 2 years in. I'm 29 now, and we're having our first child in the way, hopefully, inshallah. But yes, and I know there's been a lot of people on the internet. You guys are seeing, if you're seeing the red pill, if you're seeing feminism, if you're seeing all these TikTok videos, both men and women are getting discouraged not to get married and have kids, and it there is difficulty for a lot of you guys finding partners, but please don't stop. I want to tell you guys that you got to keep searching. You got to vet out your partner. You got to make sure you're both compatible and you guys both know what's going on. If you're as a man being the sole provider, if you're both being providers, both working, just make sure you agree on that. Just make sure that you guys are prepared for everything. The economy's kind of messed up right now. If you guys are getting married, just be prepared to be ready to downsize if you need to, help each other out, help each other save money, save time, and spend the rest of your lives together. It's a beautiful thing. Kids and families are the greatest thing ever. Like, this is how we build societies. This is how we build communities. This is how we just build the world, just by having man, wife, and kids. And it's a recipe for greatness, in my opinion. It just sucks that, like, nowadays a lot of men, they're either like too simpy or they're either way too in the red pill. They don't have a really good middle ground, to where when they find a good woman, they don't have the discernment to say, okay, I don't have to follow the red pill and just because I have a very good woman in my life, all that stuff. They don't really, it doesn't really go through their head sometimes. Like, they just watch content on, like, how to treat women that aren't good for you. And, like, you should not really be with a woman like that. You shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't even mess with a girl like that. And women, the same thing too. Like, the women are with men that really treat them well. They'll literally spend their entire paycheck on them sometimes. They will literally go above and beyond, and then they can't afford a bag for them, and then they're like, what the hell, who am I with? So a lot of women are being ungrateful too, and a lot of men are really treating women the best, as they should. But at the end of the day, if you're watching man or woman, just realize that, like, social media isn't real. You have to just snap out of it. You have to realize that you're in the real world. Like, it's not like this. Like, look at your parents, look at your grandparents, look at your neighbors, look at their generation. Like, we're not, as a young man, you're not supposed to be 23 and a millionaire. If you are, great. I really hope you guys are. I wish that for you guys. But if you guys can't be 25 and a millionaire, that's okay. I'm not a millionaire. I still made it work. I've been making over six figures in the last few years, and I've just been making it work. And I live in one of the most expensive cities in the world, in Toronto. But I'm just letting you guys know that it's okay to not be a millionaire. You don't have to be driving Lambos at 24, 25. If you're a woman, your man doesn't have to be a millionaire by 25. You got to snap back into reality and realize that it's okay at the end of the day. And just don't compare yourself too much to people on social media. Do some research on yourself about marriage. If you find the right partner, go for it. That's my opinion, especially if they fear God. And I'm a Muslim man, and I fear God. My wife fears God. And at the end of the day, I trust God, Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things you can control in your life. Because you can't really control your wife's mind in 3 years or 5 years, or even yourself. You can't even control your own mind within 5 or 10 years. You don't know what content they're going to put out on the internet. You don't know what's going to go on. You don't know what war is going to happen. Like, one day your partner could just wake up and decide they don't want to love you anymore. So at the end of the day, you have to, like, pray to God, trust God, So there's a small element in that. But at the end of the day, you have to be smart with your decisions. You have to be smart with who you choose. And also wait for the right time. If you really want to get married, but you cannot find the right partner, it's okay to wait. Maybe it's your purpose. Like, maybe your purpose is to get married when you're 35, when you're 30, when you're 40, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know women want to get married sooner because of their biological time clock, And something that just I know a lot of women, as soon as they hit 25, 26, they wanted to get married. Like 5 years ago they weren't like that when they were 21, and that's okay. It's the nature. And with men, I see that when they're in their 30s, when they're mid 30s, to be honest, that's when a lot of men want to get married. I know back then it was like, for men it was like their late 20s, and women it was like their early 20s. But economically times are tough right now. Like, the economy is crazy. So, like, I understand why that would set you off, and I think that's like one of the main reasons. I know for men, they see videos of like, woman taking half, but you can always prenup. You can always have a prenup. You can always have a religious contract where, you say my money's my money, her money's her money after the divorce, and that's completely okay. And if you don't want to agree with that, you don't have to marry them. But yeah, at the end of the day, I got married at the age of 27, and I do not regret it. Even though financially I'm not doing as well as I was before, because I have to support someone else and things like that. But I'm still happy. I'm still rich in other ways. I'm rich in health, and I'm rich in relationships more than I ever was. Even though, because of the thing, like, money isn't everything. I said this before. One time I was making 20 to 25K a month, and I wasn't really happy. I would go back to that time in 1 second, because I was taking it for granted. I was like, okay, I made 20K this month. I made 30K. How do I make 40K? Well, how do I make 50K? I didn't really enjoy the moment. I didn't really just say, how do I maintain? How do I just save time? I made 30K. I should be making 25K, pay someone else 4 or 5K, and save my time. But I wasn't really thinking like that. It is what it is. You live and you learn. I just want to tell you guys that, like, marriage is a beautiful thing, and if you're really young, you should really consider it. If you're a religious man, I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Sikh, Hindu, consider it. And honestly, getting married at a young age saves you from a lot of time. It'll literally discipline your life. It'll help you make money. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Thank you.